Disclaimer. Any of the guidance offered by the podcast host, myself, or the podcast guests is our own guidance. We are not liable for any of the actions the podcast listener decides to do.
Things to prioritize in 2026 when it comes to wealth and abundance. Welcome back to the podcast today with me, Johnny Parlow. Thank you for being here. I decided last week, I wanted to make a summary of things I've learned in terms of money and the energy around that, energy being one of the points for 2025. And I'm going to make these episodes for the moment. I've been making these to the point and about money specifically. As I go through 2026, the format may change a little bit. So always coming back to your confidence and your self-esteem and your relationship with yourself as the theme of the podcast. But yeah, today I wanted to say or look at three things that I personally am looking to prioritize in 2026 when it comes to wealth and abundance. Because I know a lot of people get into, and I've been there, get into this scarcity mindset of like, oh, there's not enough. Like I've been in places where I've had anxiety and stress of like thinking of, and what's in my bank account and what's coming, is this payment coming through, all these kind of things. So for me, like over time, I've learned how to approach money differently. And these are three things that I'm going to prioritize. And I just want to share them with you for 2026 that I thought are really, really, really helpful for me. So number one, hanging out with high frequency, high energy people and communities. A combination of that is listening to people, uplifting podcasts, audios. I've got a couple of programs that I listen to that are really inspiring, give me some good ideas, some good insights. But going to communities and places where people are really, for example, last year, I went to a dinner where I paid multiple thousands to go to, and I met a couple of really wealthy people in there. And having conversations with them makes me think differently. So that's why I've decided that actually connecting with high frequency, high energy people has been a real high priority for me. I've been fortunate to interview some multi-millionaires. I've met a lot of people in these spaces. And actually there's a way that they think of things and their energy about money and life that I really started to take into my life and implement it as much as possible. So that'd be the first thing. Look at how you can get around. I'm not saying you need to sit with billionaires at dinner because, there's often dinners where you have to earn a certain amount to get in. But think about, and I'm not saying just hang out with people with money, but think about hanging out with people just in good energy, doing well, closer to where you want to be. And think about going to those communities, those events, and hang out with those people. There's many personal growth events, even if you need to do it online. There's online events, connect with people, collab with people, because that's really going to allow you to connect differently. And as they say, your network often impacts your net worth, which I think is true. If you look at millionaires, they often hang out with people who are millionaires as well. The billionaires hang out with billionaires. Now you can have that. Sometimes you see that friend who suddenly gets successful and makes money. And don't you notice they seem to kind of separate from their friends? And it's not about you have to ditch anyone or anything like that. But think about how you can start hanging out with communities where they're heading towards where you want to go. There's many online things. And this is why I feel like I'm knocking my own podcast. Please keep listening. Well, choice is yours. If it gives you value, please keep listening to the podcast. But this is why I'm saying listening to free stuff on YouTube and podcasts is not enough alone. It's about communities, people around you. You can have conversations with people that impact you. But yeah, like in the meantime, listen to uplifting podcasts and YouTube videos. Of course, I personally like to listen to more stuff I paid for because I've given something in receipt for it. And that's how energy works a lot of the time. But yeah, like think about how you can hang out with more high frequency communities. Number two, become a person of value. Think about how you can become more valuable. Pick up a valuable skill. For me, it's really driving into sales. Like I've had an opportunity come my way, and sales is a highly valuable thing. You are impacting in it when it's ethical, when you're helping someone, helping a company, it's very ethical and it's a lot of value, right? For example, I've earned my most amount of money in a month from sales, right? When you align with the company, what they're doing, the mission to help people, when you're helping people who need help, it is, and then you're earning commissions off of that and you get praise from people. Thank you for helping me. It is so amazing. All right, honestly. And it's a high valuable thing. It doesn't have to be sales for you, although I suggest sales. I had a guest on, Abby Mewborn, who's one of my sales coaches, and she like teaches people how to do this. And I'd highly recommend listening to that episode if not, because learning sales, and everyone's like, I don't like sales. Well, you're on earth, so you're doing sales. Everyone does sales in some form or another. Is a highly valuable skill. But think about how you could build more value in 2026. And building value is, even in your job, if you want to get promoted in your job, how can you add more value? And working hard is not adding value. It's not the same as adding value. Often people adding value are working very, very hard. But I know people who work hard, people who work 3 jobs, and they just have enough to pay the bills, right? That's because they're not adding value. They're working a certain amount of hours to earn the money just to scrape by, right? But think about someone who's working like 3 jobs, maybe doing a little bit of cleaning, maybe doing a bit of like working in a shop, and then maybe something else, some kind of like small maintenance thing, or I don't know, some whatever. Like, I'm not saying those things aren't important, but then compare that to someone who goes into a business and says, I've got an idea to make you an extra $500,000 a year. Who's going to earn the more money? The guy, the girl or the guy or the person who goes into the company and says, I'm going to make you $500,000 more a year. All right. That's because they're very valuable. Right. Or someone comes in and says, I know an approach to change your health issue, your lifetime health issue that's causing you fatigue. How valuable is that? That's why people pay a lot of money for those things. Right. So think about how you can genuinely add value. Value is increase to a person or a company or something, like really adding even more health, energy, money, or improving someone's relationships. Those are generally the ways you can add value. So think about, are you adding it? I used to work really hard printing pages out, typing up notes. But at the end of the day, how much that's like an admin work. And I'm not saying we don't need admins and things like that, but like, how much value is that really giving? I mean, you can teach AI to do that now, right? It's just think about how you can really add value to someone's life. Okay. And then the third one is focus on enjoying the process. Don't be attached to the outcome. When I get attached to the outcome, it creates scarcity and fear. And I notice I kind of separate myself from it. But when I've been having fun, enjoying what I'm doing, but knowing where I'm going, that's when things show up. Even sometimes in a different direction, which I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good opportunity. So, for example, I was really struggling to get a job. I was like, in the place I worked, and I was on contract. I was trying to get a permanent one there. I kept going. I was like, I need to get the job. I need to get a job. And then, do you know what? I got to a point where I let go. I started focusing on enjoying it and being me and feeling good. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, this job opportunity comes up. And this goes into like energy work and the metaphysical world and stuff, which I won't go down that alley, that I've learned a lot about. But it was like, wow, suddenly an opportunity that was even better paid in a new city. All these kind of things came out of nowhere, right? Because I was enjoying the process and where I was at. But I knew I wanted a job. I knew I wanted a better job and all these kind of things. And I wasn't attached to it. So think about that. So those are my 3 points I want to share with you on what to focus on in wealth and abundance in 2026. Talks about finding more high frequency people and communities. And so between that, listen to things that like lift you up. Number 2, becoming a person of value, not just working hard, becoming valuable. And then number 3, focusing on enjoying the process whilst knowing where you want, what's the outcome, but detaching from it at that scarcity. So that's what I've got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.